So
That's
I want to
right.
go back to this Hunter Biden laptop. So Hunter's guilty. The laptop is real, right? It
Yep.
raises a couple of questions, but one of the things that the letter said, right, are the following.
Mm.
Our view that the Russians are involved in the Hunter Biden email issue is consistent with two other significant data points as well. According to the Washington Post, citing four sources, U.S. intelligence agencies warned the White House last year that Rudy Giuliani was the target of an influence operation by Russian intelligence. They cited anonymous sources to justify something that the paper wrote, and the intelligence agents. I mean, this is like a circle jerk, right? This is so. Look, this is no different than the Steele dossier, right? They plant
Wow,
two different
dude.
stories about the Steele dossier. One in the media, one in the intelligence agency, right? They have Steele, contact the CIA, and then the
Right.
CIA says, "Oh, there must be something to it because it's also being leaked and reported into the press," not understanding, or maybe they are understanding that there's the connection they plan in both places, and one reinforces the other. Does the word sucker come to mind again?
Golly.
So,
Wow. Wow,
right.
wow, wow. Yeah.
So, so it raises another question, though. Right. Here's the other question. So, if we know that the laptop is real, and we now know that Hunter Biden, contrary to what Joe Biden said during the debates, that my son never got any compensation, got several $1 million. I think it was 2.1 million in 1 year and 2.4 million from the Chinese government and or Chinese owned companies, right? And then obviously there's the cut for the big guy, if you remember. So if we now know the laptop is real, and you now know that Hunter Biden actually was getting money from Ukraine and Burisma and was getting money from China, so is Joe Biden a puppet presidency?
I I I don't know how else you read the information that has been coming out over the last, few years. He
I don't
he
know.
literally is in bed with all of these countries that are supposedly corrupt, that supposedly are our enemy or whatever, and yet he's getting money from them. So I just
Well, they're going to say, well, you can't prove. So now it's going to be a hard edge that's going to say, well, you can't prove that Joe Biden got any money. His son got money, right? Of course, where there's smoke, there's no fire, of course. And again, it sort of goes back to this whole election integrity thing. Well, a court of law hasn't ruled, so therefore there's no proof. And I don't want to get into the whole whether the election was fair or not, but it's the same sort of mythical standard that they're trying to get people to believe. Well, it didn't happen because a court of law didn't rule that it happened. So, and by the way, court of law didn't rule that Hunter Biden received 2.1 and 2.4 million dollars from China or from Ukraine or whatever, but it came out in trial. It's an uncontested fact. Let's see the media bury that as Russian disinformation.
Robert, I am just all yeah, okay, Lord help me.
Come on, you're
All
speechless. I love this.
Ooh, I'm gonna be praying every day for this country as we approach the election. Somebody in the comments said that they think Joe will quit before the election so Kamala can win. I think it's gonna be somebody like Gavin Newsom or something like that. Y'all pray for your
All right,
country.
wait a minute. Are you channeling Robert? You're now going with my Gavin Newsom position?
Oh, I definitely think it's going to be gruesome Newsom.
Well, look, here's who it won't be. To our one listener who we know is out there. Here, I'm sorry, Jay. I'm sorry. So they'll be held to pay. So it will not be Kamala Harris.
No way.
Because
Nobody likes her.
Because the Democrats don't want to lose. Now it might be.
Yeah.
Michelle Obama.
No, it won't. Shut up.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Okay.
How can I talk if you're telling me to shut up?
Shut up doesn't really mean shut up. It means say more.
Is that like when you say fine, you're not, or when you say whatever?
Yeah, correct. I'm a woman. You should expect that what I'm saying is the opposite of what I'm saying.
Where's Helen Reddy when we need her?
What I mean,
I know I'm dating myself
saying
with
is the
references,
opposite of what I
but
mean.
look, it's not going to be Kamala Harris. She is universally
Definitely not.
disliked, and the one voting block that the Democrats cannot afford to lose. Look, I would argue they can't afford to lose, the black voting block or
Yeah.
the Hispanic voting block, but they cannot afford to lose suburban women. And Kamala Harris does not poll well with suburban women. They don't like her, right?
Yep.
More suburban women would vote for Michelle Obama. I find that to be unfathomable to me, but it is what it is. So it's either Michelle Obama, and I do not think that she will sacrifice her newfound lifestyle
No,
to
not a chance.
come back in office. So I think it's Gavin Newsom. I don't think it's anybody else. But again, let's go back to this. They will use the guilty verdict to pressure Joe Biden
That's
to
right.
withdraw himself from the ticket. It's not going to be announced that way. He's going to have a medical issue. He's going to freeze again on camera. They'll slip him a Mickey or something, and he'll
Something.
pass out at an event, something like that. And then, of course, they're going to blame this on Russian disinformation, that he didn't really, it was a body double. So
here's what I do know.
What?
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. I'm here for it. I got my popcorn.
So I want to move the show along to one more Russian disinformation.
Ooh.
One more.
Ooh,
because
more
you realize
talk.
Niet, which is no. But I just told you my one word of Russian. But das vidanya, a couple things. But in any event, do you know we have tomorrow there will be Russian warships and a nuclear submarine right off the southern coast of the United States? In Cuban waters, Caribbean waters in Cuba.
Modern day missile crisis.
You're stealing my lines.
I did. I totally
so
stole
is
it.
Is another Cuban missile crisis, Sans Bay of Pigs, hopefully, going to happen? So again, this is the news media. So take it. 3 Russian Navy ships and a nuclear-powered vessel will arrive at the port of Havana for an official visit on Wednesday.
It's vessel. It's not vessel.
Okay.
It's
vessel. Well, okay. So I don't know. Now, it's the first coordinated air and sea exercise by Russia in the Western Hemisphere in 5 years. So, guys, it's not like they haven't done it before. But at this time, they're going to hold military drills. Now, that's not what Cuba is saying. So, I mean, can you imagine? So, why is the press not reporting this?
Because
if they're so paranoid about Russia and everything is either Russian disinformation or Russia's fault or Vladimir Putin is the worst dictator in the history of mankind, why aren't they reporting on this? This is folks. Why aren't they reporting on this?
Well, and what's even, I don't know. But here's what's interesting is while we have millions of illegal aliens pouring across our border, an invasion, you might say, we now have Russian warships heading to South America. I mean, who knows?
South America. They're not going to South America. They're coming to the U.S. They're coming
Central
to the Caribbean.
America.
They're going to be in the Caribbean. They're going to be 90 miles.
I know, but this is what I'm
off
saying.
Of the U.S. coast.
Sorry, I'm misspeaking. I'm speaking in generalizations. My point is they're going to be in the same area where we have a bunch of illegal aliens pouring across our border, not to mention they're going to be in missile distance from our country after having basically found that U.S. munitions were used inside of Russia.
Well, a couple problems with that. Number one, it's not like U.S. troops used U.S. munitions inside of Russia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the factual basis of the munitions, but let's take it at face value. It's a little different when a Russian destroyer and a nuclear submarine, which, by the way, the article says, but don't worry, the intelligence community has already confirmed that it's not carrying nuclear warheads. This is the same intelligence community that told us that the Russian laptop was the Biden laptop was disinformation, right? This is the same
Yeah, how would they know?
Intelligence
How would they
community
even know?
that said that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq.
Yeah.
So show me where they've got one of these right. And look, I'm not like, do I think that
here,
Russia's
well,
going
and
to
it's
launch an
also,
ICBM or an SLBM? No, but
here's the thing: Russia is at war right now. Why would any of their military apparatus be
assets.
somewhere?
The word is assets, military assets.
Thank you. Why would any of their military assets be anywhere other than where they are engaged in conflict?
Well, that's simple. They want to stick. Look, in foreign policy, we have said this over and over again. Right? Weakness breeds aggression in others.
That's right.
Joe Biden's weakness as a president, Joe Biden's decisions to cozy up to Iran, assuming, and by the way, let's go back because the whole puppet presidency, I don't think he's really the one making the decisions. But again, we can peel back that onion a little bit, on another show even more. But the Biden administration is cozying up to Iran. The Biden administration is busy pressuring Israel to accept a ceasefire pretty much on any terms, right? The Biden administration is, even with, they've done some sanctions on audio only, some sanctions on China, but basically placated China and been dressed down by China several times. So Russia, Putin may be many things. He is not stupid. He is an aggressive leader. And look, he is pro-nationalist Russia. You got to give him credit for that but he is sticking in the eye of the Biden administration and their feckless foreign policy for the last 3.5 years. So of course he's going to stick thumb in his eye. What did you expect?
Exactly. I mean, that we literally, not only do we make them the bad guy in every single movie and have, like, for the history of ever, right? We just listen to these fools for the last 7.5 years be like, Russia, P-tapes and prostitutes and, like, bruh, what do you think? Like, oh my God, they're gonna, if I was Putin, I'd be like, you too.
Ooh, I love the bleep. Did you just beep yourself?
I did.
Look, to me, the loss of opportunity or the loss of the potential is the U.S. foreign policy and the obsession of the Democrats with Russia in an endeavor to damage and hurt Donald Trump and retain power pretty much single-handedly drove Russia into China's camp. Say what you want, and Russia is not, the perfect actor on the world stage. The United States is not the perfect actor on the world stage. This is still geopolitics. This is still real politic, capital R, small k, right? An old German concept about an enemy of my enemy is my friend. And in a world, and we've detailed this, that is no longer unipolar, it is multipolar in terms of different centers of power. And certainly China is vying for hegemony against the US. We pushed Russia into China's camp. I think that's undeniable.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And that's not to say that, like, oh, well, then bad things are justified, because that's definitely not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I understand, as Chris Rock would say. Or no, wait, was it Chris Rock? Or no, it was the dude that got slapped by Will Smith on stage.
The dude that got slapped.
Benjamin, I'm talking to you.
I think that was Chris Rock.
Well, it was Chris Rock. Yeah. So as in the words of Chris Rock, I understand.
Well, look, I'm not sure I supported the slap or didn't support the slap, but at least there were consequences, which is another big beef with it, which is a great segue to our last segment, at least before we become unvarnished and unhinged after hours. Did you hear the thing in New York City where there was this pride parade and a banker is walking back? It's in Brooklyn in Park Slope. Guy's walking back. He makes some comment about you guys are on the wrong side, and they surround him and they throw like paint and stuff on him. And there's a video circling the internet where he knocks out or knocks down, punches some woman, breaks her, I don't know, nose or teeth or whatever. And it's all over the internet. You didn't see that one?
No.
Oh, come on.
Oh, we're going to have to talk about. Okay.
So Queers for Palestine.
Oh, Lord.
Brooklyn cell phone shows a man punching a woman in the face on the sidewalk on the outskirts of a pride event. Anti-Israel march in Park Slope around 11:30 p.m. on Saturday. Jewish guy, of course, right? I mean, always, so so you got to look this up. And I think his name, they actually they doxed the guy eventually. Jonathan K is the guy's name, right?
Okay.
And they surround him. They throw fake blood on him. He's wearing a nice suit. They throw
Oh my
fake blood on
God.
him. Somebody knocks him to the ground. His leg is bleeding. He gets up, pushes one guy out of the way, and he punches this woman right in the face, who was part of the mob, right?
I mean,
So
equal rights.
Well, first of all, I have railed for a long time that there are no consequences. There's starting to be consequences, right? You're starting to see people fight back because, look, I'm not saying what the guy did was right or wrong, but look, the mob mentality is simple. If you're
yeah, go ahead. Sorry, no, you're gonna say it.
If you're surrounded by look, and my fighting background, right? So
Yeah.
if you're surrounded by a mob, it's the only way out of that. First of all, you got to get out of the circle. And the only way out of the circle is you got to go after one person. You make them an example, and you take them out, and then you get out of the circle. Right?
Yeah.
Because when you're surrounded, you have to get out of the circle because you don't know sort of where this is coming from, which is what he did. So to me, it was just a question of self-defense, right? But it's also that people are fed up with this crap now.
That's right. Take it.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's my question to you, though.
Mm.
Marrying this whole concept of this rising populism or the anger that's leading to a rise in this populist sort of uprising at the voting booths across the world in different countries, with sort of this whole no consequences culture that have been cultivated for the last 4 years, I would argue, since Obama, right? Going back to let's find psychiatrists to determine why are people jumping the turnstiles, right? It's all related. Is vigilante justice coming back?
Ooh, well, you're going to have to join us on the free speech platforms of Rumble and Twitter to find out our answers to that question.
How's the hook? Is that a good hook?
That was good. That was good, you guys.
Is there vigilante justice coming to this country?
All
That's
right.
the question.
So join us, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna leave you on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Join us on Rumble and Twitter for after hours while we answer that question. In the meantime, if you've watched the video this long, we thank you for joining us, and we do ask that you go ahead, like the video, share the video with people that you know, and most importantly, do subscribe. It does not cost you anything. We're not asking you to join anything. Just click the subscribe button. It makes sure that you get notifications of when we go live and when we post new videos so that you never miss a thing.